So, what did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, what did you miss? You missed my return. I've been away for 3 weeks. Really missed being at Jubilee. So much has happened, and it's just great to be back. So, you missed seeing a very happy minister. Glad to be back with community. And today we listened to Luke's gospel, and we heard the words that we come to know as the Lord's Prayer. Jesus' followers, they said to Jesus, "Teach us to pray, Lord," the way that John taught his people to pray. Teach us to pray. And you wonder, why would they need to learn how to pray? They were good Jewish boys. They knew all the prayers. They probably knew them in Aramaic and Hebrew. They'd learned them all. They knew when to say them, how to say them. They had it covered, and yet they're still asking, Jesus, teach us to pray. So today we spent a long time thinking about prayer. We wondered together about prayer. We prayed in words, we prayed in song, we prayed in silence. We shared prayers that we read together. We wondered together, what if prayer is not about asking and getting? What if prayer is not about calming and comforting? What if prayer is not about getting vengeance on the bad guys? Because we do sometimes pray for that, don't we? I mean, honestly. What if prayer is none of those things? What if prayer is countercultural? What if prayer is resistance to seeing the world as it's presented to us? What if prayer is about seeing the world as other than profit and loss, win, lose, this side, that side? What if prayer is about seeing God at work in the world? In the things that we do, behind the things that we do? What if prayer is that time that we take to open ourselves up to God as we understand God, but then listening and pondering and looking and recognizing where God is already at work? I talked about what it's like to go to a deathbed, to a family in the midst of tragedy, to see somebody who's having a hard time, and to pray for them as we do pray. But in that prayer, as I'm asking for courage and strength, if I'm asking for comfort for this person or that family, as I'm praying, I become aware of the comfort that's already there. The neighbors who are connecting and reaching out, the professionals and the amateurs, the ones who do it for love, who are assisting and comforting, and I recognize God is already present. What I thought was a time for pity and sorrow is also, I recognize, a time to see God at work and recognize the love. What if prayer is about opening eyes and hearts and not awakening a sleeping God, but rather a sleeping ego that is satisfied and convinced that, well, we've already got it figured out. I know how prayer works. I've got it done. I've learned all there is. Done. Except that God is still speaking. God is still acting. God is still loving in this world and inviting us to be part in the next thing and in the new thing. That's what we wondered about today. What is prayer really about, and why would we need Jesus to teach us, even though we've already learned how to do it? Well, because Jesus invites us to see the world a new way. He invites us to a new lens. What an opportunity to engage with folk that we have not engaged with before, so that we can see the world through their lens and suddenly see God at work in a new way. That's why communities need to grow, why communities need to invite new people in. That's why God calls us together, not to all be the same, but so that our differences can provide new ways of seeing the world, so that we can see God at work in a new way, be invited to follow that way, and not only grow ourselves, but be part of God's action, God's love in the world. That's what we did today. As I said, we prayed in words and we prayed in song, we prayed in silence, and together we became a little more aware of God and the world, in each other, and in our very selves. Yeah, at least I did. I hope others did too. And I hope, even though you weren't with us today, you can take a little time to wonder about what prayer means to you and how you might do it in such a way that you become more aware of God in the world and God acting in you. And hopefully you'll be with us soon and you can share your experience, your insight, because we want to hear it and because we miss you. Until we see you, God bless.